Hola a todos, Michelle, estoy aquí con un otro video sobre de mi actualización en mi progreso de adquirir español. So, just I wanted to go live to share my update on what's been happening within my journey of acquiring Spanish. I'm currently at 571 hours. And the most recent update that's been happening is that I started taking Spanish lessons on Preply. And so last week I did speak about what Preply is. Think of italki, the platform where you can choose different instructors to help you along and assist you in different ways out in your Spanish journey, whatever that may be for you. For me, my focus is on conversation since I feel that I want to get better at having a conversation with people. Like feel that I'm getting better at understanding, comprehending. Hola, Exo Jackie. How's it going? ¿Qué tal? How you doing? How's your week been? Um, so yeah, just finding for me with Preply is utilizing speaking more in Spanish. So last week I had two trial sessions. So I spoke with two different instructors that filtered through on their website because you can put in a lot of filters just to kind of figure out like where you're at, what you want to talk about. And so for me, also like what country do I want to like learn the Spanish more from as well. So that's really important to me and I was able to watch a lot. I did watch a lot of intro videos because I feel like that's really cool that on Preply all the tutors have introductory videos on, how they can help you, the resources that they use and utilize. So that also helped me as well in narrowing down my search. So had two instructors that I did my trial lesson with last week, and then this week was my first week of having 50-minute lessons. So the trial lesson was 20 or 25 minutes last week, and then this week I had two different sessions, one on Tuesday and one today on Friday. And I was a little nervous because to me 50 minutes seems like a long time, in terms of like a lesson and it just being one-on-one. But I felt that the classes went by really fast as well. Uh, I'm gonna call you Jackie. How about that? Jackie, what Spanish accent are you focusing on? I'm focusing on the accent from Mexico. So that is my main focus with a splash of Panamanian as well. But the main one is Mexican Spanish. That is the one I'm totally focusing on. Do you have a particular accent that you're focusing on, Jackie? Please let me know down in the comments. and so the first person I spoke to on Tuesday, I like two different people on how they teach. So Tuesday was focused more on, she used Canva as a like a slideshow presentation, and she had like a suitcase, and then she had some items on the side, and it's like, okay, we're going on a trip. What do you want to put in the suitcase? And so um with the suitcase, like I was able to say the items names. There were a couple of things like toiletries because it was like a little bag of like lotion, toothpaste, and toothbrush. So to me I would call those like a toiletry bag, but I don't know how to say that in Spanish, so I had asked her like, what would that be. And so we did that, and then we worked on, because I confuse para and por a lot. So we worked on like her breaking down to me, when you use por, when you use para, which I'm still learning. It's not something that I got like, oh, I get it now that you say it. Just because sometimes I feel like, oh, it should be para, but it's like it doesn't matter what I think it should be. It's the grammar of the actual language itself. So I was able to write some tips she gave me there. And then what I enjoyed about Preply, especially for that particular lesson that I had on Tuesday, is that it told me that they had a percentage pop up in the bottom of the window that said your instructor is speaking 70% and you're speaking 30%. You should speak more. But I wasn't paying attention to that, but for me, that made me recognize I'm not speaking enough. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to speak more. And so that to me was a good observation, good data for me to be aware of in terms of, continuing my progress, whether if I want to keep working with this particular instructor as well. And so I have 4 sessions with the instructor because that to me gives me enough time to see if this is like we have a good connection. I like, what she's teaching me, even though maybe it's not maybe more so conversation, but we're getting some conversation in there and she's teaching me some other things and I appreciate that. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Sorry. Chat, Jackie. You did Preply for a few months, and the 50 minutes always intimidating, intimidating me no matter what. For sure. Like I feel like I get nervous right before the session. Like, ooh, what is it going to be like? Oh my gosh, do I have to speak the whole time? Like, am I going to be able to do this? And of course, I make it through. You made it through, Jackie. So I totally get it. And even today, because my trial session with my Friday tutor, he is definitely like, you are speaking the entire time. So I was like, ooh, I got to be like ready. But it's like, I don't even know what I'm ready for because I didn't necessarily know what we're doing or even what's going to come out of my mouth. And guess what? I may even surprise myself. Okay, cool, Jackie. So you're focusing on Chilean Spanish with a splash of Mexican. Yeah. Oh, JC. Okay. My bad. JC. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I always like to make sure I get people's names correctly. So, JC, thank you for sharing that information with me. Um, and then are you still doing Preply then? Are you thinking about going back to Preply or how was your experience with using Preply, JC? And so today my instructor, he operates total opposite of my Tuesday instructor. He is basically we're diving into conversation as soon as we get started. Not really like teaching, we're not going over grammar. He's not using Canva. He's not using a whiteboard because my Tuesday teacher, she had her whiteboard and she was like writing things out for me. And so what he did, he shared a screen and he chose me to choose topics and I chose pasatiempos, hobbies. And so first sentence basically is I answer it, and then he was teaching me how to like, what do you think? ¿Qué piensas? Rather than me just saying what I need to say, pause, and then I go to like the next question, and it's about me just answering questions. It's more so he was like, this is going to help you like actually learn how to have a natural conversation with someone else, asking what their thoughts are, which I really appreciate because yeah, that's how we have conversations. At least I like to. I like them to be like engaging and things like that. So I really appreciated that, and I love that he writes in the chat what he's saying because it's easier for me to sometimes if I'm not hearing everything, if I can read it, then it's like, "Oh, yes, that is what you're saying. I get it now." And also what I appreciate about him is that he's like I'll say something and he actually says, "Mm, this is what we would say like more like natural, not necessarily proper, but natural. And so for me, it's like, yes, I want to speak like how I speak in English. Like I can walk down the street and I can speak naturally, not necessarily properly, if that makes sense. I don't need to be like I'm reading out, like I don't speak like I'm a textbook. And so I really appreciate that about him. And so actually the class went by really fast. So far, so good, and I do have 4 sessions with my Friday instructor as well because once again, I wanna get a feel and see maybe I wanna switch to, keep doing them both or keep having them both as my instructors or maybe switch to 1, just depends on what it is, but the only way I'm gonna know and find out is if I allow myself enough time to have, a month worth of sessions with them or more so 4 sessions once a week with them, so that's really great. So JC, so you really like Preply. You worked with a few tutors, but decided to take a break and try other platforms. I'm thinking of using World Across next. I have not heard of World Across, so thank you for sharing that with us. This is what I appreciate about our community because there's so many resources out there, and it's just great to know what's out there because it's like, hey, maybe this worked for me. It may work for you. Maybe it didn't work for me, but let me tell you what I did and I'll share why. But that doesn't mean it's not going to work for somebody else. So I really appreciate that. So thank you for sharing that, JC. World Across. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. Haven't heard of it. And okay. What's up, Larry? How you doing? Yeah. And JC, why did you choose Chilean Spanish? If you like to share, I'm curious. I'm interested. And you said it's kind of, Larry asked if it's super fast, and you said kind of. So cool. They use a lot of different vocab. Seems more challenging than mainstream. So JC, you like the challenge, it sounds like. Your second tutor sounds really good, Michelle. Yeah. I'm trying my goal, JC, is to stay neutral right now and not make an immediate determination from, one session and a half with the trial session. So I'm staying open-minded, and I wanna give, like, my brain automatically goes to, the Tuesday tutor, maybe it's not the best, but I still wanna allow, like, a chance, see what happens, give it a little chance in there. And, and if any of you are interested in utilizing Preply for tutors, or you're thinking about it, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, guess what? I have the link in my description of a referral code, so you can get 70% off of your first trial session. So, yeah. Larry, you're still doing crosstalk, no Spanish speaking yet. That's all good. I'm proud that I'm happy for you that you're still doing crosstalk. That's all that matters. And for me, it's all about seeing, like, all of our journeys are different, but it's great to know that, we still show up for ourselves first and foremost in, keeping the journey alive. That's really what it's about, because every step, no matter what it is that we're doing, we're still learning something. We're still gaining some input of some type. So that's really cool. JC, I do love a challenge. Oh, your partner's Chilean. Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. You moved to Chile this year. Of course. So, like, how is your progress being immersed in Chile then? Do you find yourself picking up more and more of Spanish, basically? And like, are you still using, like, what resources do you use, since now, like, you live in a country where Spanish is spoken? Curious to see that. So, but yeah, that's totally cool. Congratulations on your move. That's awesome. Why do I focus on a bit of Panamanian Spanish? I never hear people say that. Because my dad is from Panama. And so for me, it's like, well, kind of like why you moved to Chile. And so it's like relevant. So I guess it's the same thing. That's why I got a splash of the Panamanian slang and things like that, because my dad is from Panama. And so I do want to embrace and pick up on my roots at the same time. And, yeah, I think would be really nice, and that's one of the reasons why I started this journey of learning Spanish, because I do wanna have that connection of the language, especially going back to visit and things like that. So, but thank you for asking, I appreciate that. Okay, and let's see, what else did I wanna share? Oh, this week, last week I talked about how I was listening to podcast. And so last week I was focused on How to Spanish podcast. And I did mention that I would just listen to one episode and just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Um, just so, I can, if I miss a word, I can pick up on it, because sometimes I may drift away. My mind will think of something different. So it's just a reminder for me to do that. So I did share How to Spanish podcast in my last week's live. And then I also, just in case anybody wasn't here for last week, I did want to share with you, they started How to Start Spanish podcast. So the How to Spanish podcast team has started How to Start Spanish. So they got a little mixture of English, plus they speak slower, which is really helpful, I believe. So that's just another resource. But I did want to share the one podcast that I started listening to this week is No Hay Tos. So, and the reason I went with No Hay Tos this week is because when I first started on my journey with acquiring Spanish, like committed with the comprehensible input, I heard about this podcast, but when I listened to it, it was like super fast. They spoke super fast, like they were just like naturally talking like to each other as friends, which they are. And I was like, I'm not picking up on this. Like the How to Spanish podcast to me is a lot easier, because I feel like they speak more clearly, and that's not a knock. It's just how they create their podcast, and No Hay Tos is, it's like, hey, we're two buddies having a conversation, and we're just speaking naturally. And for me, I wanted to see like, hey, I haven't listened to that podcast in a while. Let me check it out and see if I can comprehend. Lo and behold, over the course of time, over what is it, 500 and some hours, I can now comprehend and I can hear what they're saying. So it was really cool to experience that this week. So I would say that's a win for this week. Oh, share your wins. I always like to know your wins for the week, or even if it's been the last month or year, whatever it is. Share those wins with me. I always like to know, and be supportive of everybody along their journey. So this I No Hay Tos, I started listening to this week, and like I said, I'll just repeat the same episode over and over again. So I think this week I've listened to maybe one new one because I just keep going and going and going. But I appreciate it. I do enjoy it, and like you see here in the tile, real Mexican Spanish, and that's what I want to learn. So that is really cool. Oh, JC, what? You're an introvert? Uh, it's not like it's advertised. I definitely haven't picked up Spanish faster just because I live here, but it's definitely cool. Okay, nice. Good for you. Keep me posted along your journey to see that how you progress, I guess. And I do see that you're an introvert, so I don't know, what are there certain things that get you out of your shell before you go back in? Or do you just like to be the observer? Or are you more like, I'm just gonna chill over here and do my own thing? So being surrounded by only Spanish a couple of times a week, definitely great real life encounter. It's so nerve-wracking. I know, JC, I talked about this last week. When I get put on the spot, I look at it like, I'm backstage or I'm practicing my lines and I'm like, I got this, I got this. And then when the curtain raises, I'm like a deer in headlights. That's exactly how I feel when I I have to speak. It is totally nerve-wracking, like, "Oh my gosh, am I gonna do this? Am I gonna do this?" So, yeah, it's really cool. Okay, and I appreciate you sharing all this. This is great information. So, let's see here. What else did I want to share? Um, already talked about Preply. Oh, another resource that I've been utilizing, this week is, Mike Ben's channel on YouTube. Mike Ben. So, Mike Ben, let me go ahead and share that. I like to share, I like to give the visual. That's my thing. Let's see. Okay. So, Mike Ben, I started watching Mike Ben probably almost 2 years ago when I first started acquiring Spanish on the comprehensible input journey, because he was using like italki and he learned Spanish. And so, of course, that's really like inspirational to me. So, I started keeping up on his channel. And then recently, once because I've been using Dreaming Spanish so much, like the actual website to watch their videos and things like that. And for me, I somehow he got back popping up more often in my algorithm, probably because I've been watching more Spanish on YouTube, actually. That's on me. I'm not even gonna like blame YouTube like all of a sudden. No, it's me. I'm trying to get out of my habit of only watching things in English on YouTube so that my algorithm can change and give me more videos in Spanish so I can create more input in Spanish as well. So, anyways, Mike Ben, his channel, I've been checking out interviews. I actually watched this interview here, the 19-year-old who learned Spanish, which is really cool. And then they have the next videos, and I started watching his videos on another interview that he did. Oh, cool, Larry, you started reading his book. How is it? Yes, Mike Ben also wrote a book. It's on Amazon. He wrote the book on his journey and just his resources, I believe, on learning, acquiring the language. Yes, here we'll share the name of it. Thank you, Larry. Mike Ben's Guide to Learning Spanish. Yeah. And I'll also put that link in my description as well for anybody who's interested in his book. I'll put his link in my description. So if you want to check out his book, I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon, I believe. So yeah, you can check that out. I'll have it in the description of this video as well. Uh, are you just starting the book, Larry, or how far are you into it? What are some highlights that you can share with us? So yeah, just really want to get more input, more Spanish, things like that. I really appreciate that with Mike Ben's channel, interviewing different people. Also, for me, it's like interviewing people who have acquired the language as well. Not necessarily are native speakers because I love to learn about their journey and their experience on how they did it, just it's inspiration for me, like, okay, it takes time. Okay, this is how they did it. Maybe it's not looking the same, but that's okay, but they still did it. Commitment, just continue to commitment day by day. So I appreciate that. Mm, oh, I did start watching this show on VIX. It's a series. So it's called Las Pelotaris 1926. And what that is, oh, okay, Larry, you said you're only a few pages in, but it's good so far. Cool. Keep us posted on, the how it's helping you and just your thoughts on it. That's great to hear. I'm glad to hear that. I know that I would watch updates on him writing the book and making edits, and I know he was really committed to that process as well, so that's cool. Yeah. Okay, so this is VIX. VIX is, I don't think of like Roku, or it's like another app that you can have. And because I have T-Mobile as my cellular provider, they give out free things every Tuesday. And one of the things that they gave out was a premium subscription to VIX. So once I learned what VIX is, and it's like all Spanish TV, movies, series, things like that. Now that I feel like I'm getting a little bit better, maybe I can go into like more like native content series and things like that. I'm giving it a try, y'all. I found this show, Las Pelotaris 1926. So far, I enjoy it. I watch it with my partner, and she helps me a lot with things that I don't understand. There are some things that I do understand, and it's really cool when I'm watching something and I chuckle like, "Ha, I get it." So, hey, there's progress happening, and I'm really proud of myself. So this is just another resource that I use to learn. So which is really cool. So I use this VIX app. JC, you have T-Mobile. You have yes. Every Tuesday, go ahead and download the T-Mobile app. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna look at my phone for you, so I make sure you get this app. Every Tuesday, they're giving away things for free. It's called T Life. Let me see if I can get this. I'm gonna show you the T-Mobile app. Yes, go to your Play Store, your App Store, whatever it is. It's called T Life. Every Tuesday, they are giving things out for free. I've gotten 10 4x6s. They used to do this a lot. 10 4x6s, like photo prints from like, they'll do it from Walgreens, they'll do it from CVS. I've gotten this premium subscription for free. They've done the MLS app, the professional soccer league. They've done that one for free. They've done MLB, I believe, for free. Oh my gosh. They'll do like a free cone from Baskin Robbins. It's so random, but every Tuesday I'm just checking it out like to see what you can get. And then at the end, they usually have a game that you can play. And sometimes I play these games on the phone, like from from carriers, or, let's say fill out a survey and you have a chance to win $1,000. I'm like, mm-hmm. Actually, I played the game on T-Mobile and I won an Amazon gift card, believe it or not. So, yes, go ahead and download that app and check every Tuesday, and they're always giving something away for free or discounts on concerts and gas. It just depends. But oh, and I recently flew United, and I didn't even know this until I got on my United flight. When I got on the United flight, they said, "Oh, you have T-Mobile. You get a whole flight of free Wi-Fi to use your phone," because, a lot, not some. All these airlines, they charge for every little thing, right? But yeah, I was able to utilize that because I had T-Mobile. So they said you can either get it 1 hour for free, but I was on some pretty long flights. So yeah, I was able to, utilize my T-Mobile for that too as well while I was on the plane. I know. People be talking about T-Mobile, but for me, it works, and I like to get free stuff, so it, works out. Yeah, you're welcome, JC. I'm glad you were on the live to check that out. Did you already download the app? That's the question first. Yep. Yeah, go ahead and download that and get all your free stuff. Like, it's random. I'm telling you. But it's cool because I'm playing it no matter what. So it's nice to get little giveaways here and there that I'm more than likely to take. So, yeah. Alrighty, everyone. Getting it now. I That's called, like, perfect divine timing, like, you coming on today, 'cause I'm pretty sure there may be something that they're doing for free, and what's funny though sometimes is I think you have to be active because sometimes my partner, she also has T-Mobile, and she's like, "I didn't get the free 10, photo prints this time," and I'm like, "I don't know, but that's what my offers are." So, this week is Baskin Robbins, buy one, get one, cup or cone. Buy one, get one free, basically. So and then they have all a bunch of other stuff. I know this is not a T-Mobile ad, but in case you have it, go ahead and get that app and, see what you can get there, to utilize that. But anyways, y'all, yeah, just wanna continue sharing, and if you guys have any questions, let me know, share your wins in the comments, I look forward to it, and yeah, until next time, ciao. Tenga un buen día, tenga un buen fin de semana, and, yeah, I'll see you next week, everyone. Ciao.